Just like the Teletubbies, In the Night Garden isn't just a visual feast, no, it's also full of lots of fun and endless repetition. And kids love that kind of 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 repetition. Oh, thank God for that. Anyway, if In the Night Garden is a sedative, other shows are a definite stimulant. Watching Nickelodeon's Yo Gabba Gabba, for instance, is a bit like having sugared amphetamines injected directly into your eyes. The show takes place in, well, actually, I haven't got the faintest clue where it takes place, but it looks like it's happening within the imagination of a man who's just been bashed around the head with an Xbox 360. The Yo Gabba Kingdom is overseen by a mad DJ who's stolen one of Jamiroquai's hats, together with his made-up toy friends, specifically a robot, a sort of cat thing, a cycloptic penis with a nasty case of genital warts, a butt plug, and Liam Gallagher. Well, at least I think it's Liam Gallagher. Actually, it can't be, because his lyrics are far more emotive than anything Oasis have ever done.
It's a fish! I like 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 fish!
The show is infused throughout with joyous, simple sing-along songs, most of which carry a complex moral message, such as this one, about the benefits of equal distribution of goods amongst like-minded acquaintances.
Sharing with my friends is good. Sharing with my friends is fun. Hello, Robbie. What are you playing?
I'm just playing bounce.
Oh, I love playing bounce.
Well, that's how you got the warts.
I love to share. I love to share. It's more fun to share.
Yeah, Liam, I'd wash that ball afterwards if you're sharing it with him. Yo Gabba Gabba has had awards thrown at it like covering fire in a beachhead assault, and it's easy to see why. Sesame Street was always cool, but this is like Sesame Street for the way cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Still, sheer energy doesn't always equal greatness, sometimes it's just annoying. Welcome to the Icelandic day-glow atrocity that is Lazy Town, a grating horror show chronicling the irritating adventures of Stephanie, a preppy pink-haired little twerp who lives in a nightmare world of Dolmio puppets. One of whom, her uncle, is a blood relative, which raises all sorts of interesting questions about the reproductive system that the programme stubbornly fails to answer. Each week, the story revolves around an annoying aerobics mad hero figure called Sporticus, a sort of magic PE teacher who clearly loves kids and who lives in the sky like he's f***ing God, and who can't cross a room without showing off a few hundred acrobatic moves along the way. It's crashingly unsubtle health and fitness propaganda, basically. The unconvincing villain is hell-bent on feeding the kids junk food and keeping them docile, while Sporticus, when he's not backflipping around the place like a bellend, is calling apples sports candy.
Sports candy, just for the energy. Are you ready, guys?
Wow!
Or relentlessly extolling the virtues of doing mindless physical exercise.
What's next?
Push-ups.
Yeah!
Let's go! Ready?
Oh, and the songs. Horrible songs. About exercise.
Get up on your feet. Go for it. Jump to the beat and go for it.
Mind you, if child obesity is such a problem, maybe we could solve it overnight by forcing all the kids in the world to lug a great load of Lazy Town DVDs up a mountain and tip them into a big burning pit. Anyway, if you think that lot's odd, you've seen nothing yet. Here's magician, actor and all-round Renaissance man Andy Nyman to tell you about the Junior Christian Science Bible lesson.
In 1996, I was in LA and my phone went and my friend said, for God's sake, put on public broadcast TV now. So I quickly put it on and just could not believe what I was both seeing and hearing. It's the most bizarre, horrible, extraordinary piece of Christian puppeteering that I think you'll ever see.
We have God-given right to say no to racism, smoking, drinking, drugs, or anything that would limit us from our highest good.
This guy's been doing this show for 20 years, and it looks like it was filmed in the late 60s. I mean, it is the colours and the clothes that people are wearing, the clothes that I'm not just talking about the puppets, I mean the people, and it's the oddest collection of human beings. There's a guy called David Lieber Hart, who is this guy who is, he believes he was abducted by aliens. He has the strangest singing voice in the world.
I am the image and likeness of God. I am the image and likeness of God. I am the image of health and image of strength, the image of strength, the image of wealth. I am the image and likeness of God. I am.
He's honestly like The Ring. Once you've got this, once you've seen this, it will be with you for the rest of your life, because once you've heard him singing, it's in forever. It's not going anywhere. The puppets that he is fucking dragged out of burnt out buildings, I think made Chucky from Child's Play look like something you would want to cuddle. The main puppet is called Albert Herman, which sounds like a sort of Nazi war criminal. He has Teddy Eddy, who is this panda who he has to make come alive to sing.
Now Teddy Eddy has a song for us, but wait until he comes alive.
And by that, it just means he sort of takes his hand out of Albert Herman and just sort of leaves that one dead. Whilst the other one sort of, you know, struggling to animate this thing.
Hi, my name is Teddy Eddy, and I'll be singing the song Mark the Perfect Man. And let's start with
At one point, Teddy Eddy has this 4.5-minute opera aria.
Man, and behold the upright.
It's like something from David Lynch. There's another puppet that looks, could be Albert Herman's son, could be a relation of his, like he's got a family of these weird puppets. The puppet is talking about the fact, don't do drugs, because my ex-wife has now on a crack habit from her new husband.
Well, my ex-wife left me for another man and has her on crack cocaine, and it really hurts.
We have to pray for her.
Pray that she gets saved.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Doug the dog looks like it's been pulled out of a fire at a children's home. It is horrible. You've got Doug the dog singing, and then as the camera pulls out, sitting by Doug the dog is someone strumming the guitar wearing an alien mask. It truly is the closest thing to a nightmare that I've honestly ever seen.
I want all the kids out there to say no. Say no to drugs there. Don't do the drugs there.
Such as cocaine, pot, heroin, all that bad stuff.
It's all bad.
Now, I'm not sure if it shows, but Screenwipe is always thrown together at the last minute in a mad blur. And while we were making this episode, we heard the sad news of the death of Oliver Postgate, who was responsible for some of the finest children's TV programmes broadcast anywhere in the world. Together with artist Peter Firmin, he created Small Films, a two-man production company that crafted their treasures in an old cowshed in Kent. They started out with Ivor the Engine in 1959 for ITV, which was remade later in colour for the BBC. Following that, Noggin the Nog, a series of whimsical made-up tales about a tribe of Norsemen. They then ventured into animated puppetry with Pingwings and Pogle's Wood, before going on to create their best-known works, The Clangers and, of course, Bagpuss. All of the Small Film shows radiate a gentle and natural warmth. Watching them feels like snuggling up in front of a fireplace listening to a kindly uncle reading a bedtime story.
There was nothing else to do, you know. When the wind doesn't blow, the ship doesn't go. But I was Captain Bagpuss,
And I think what makes these shows so good, what makes them such a vivid part of so many childhoods, is the perfect pitch of every moment. Everything about them is just right. The character designs are simple and instantly accessible. They look homemade, and that's part of their charm. Then there's the soundtrack. A lot of modern kids' shows consist of endless screeching and zap sounds that beat you over the head and can be exciting, but also leave you feeling ultimately rather hollow. Contrast that with the deliberately sedate feel of the small films productions. And they had a superb ear for creating sound effects that children could easily mimic the moment the programme had finished. Just think about the swanny whistle voices of the clangers, the beatbox rhythm of Ivor's engine, or the marvellous carousel of just bloody lovely sounds that made up most of Bagpuss, everything from Gabriel's gulp, Professor Yaffle's skittering walk and academic hemming,
That is nothing but a rotten old bottle.
the mice on the mouse organ, and of course Bagpuss's trademark yawn. These are the sounds I hear in my own head when I remember my own childhood, and Oliver Postgate put them there. Speaking of sounds, let's not overlook his voice.
Once upon a time, not so long ago, there was a little girl, and her name was Emily.
Postgate's voice, sometimes soothing, sometimes playful, was as modest and charming as everything else in the programmes. There's almost a hypnotic quality. Your consciousness seems to alter slightly the moment he starts to speak.
Bagpuss, dear Bagpuss, old fat furry catpuss, wake up and look at this thing that I bring. Wake up, be bright, be golden and light. Bagpuss, oh hear what I sing.
And there was a simple poetry to his scripts too, which suited his voice just so. He had a particular knack for drawing you in at the start of an episode, adjusting your filter, if you like, for what was to come.
This calm, serene orb, sailing majestically among the myriad stars of the firmament. Perhaps this star, too, is home for somebody. Can we imagine the sort of people that might live on a star like this? Let us go very close. Let us look and listen very carefully. And perhaps we shall see and hear.
And all of these things, the selection of just the right characters, just the right soundtrack and just the right tone, is an incredibly hard thing to pull off in TV, incredibly hard. You can't fake it, you can't screw up your face and slog your way through it. It only occurs when an innate facet of someone's character is allowed to bleed into the production, giving it a unique personality and resonance all of its own. That's what Oliver Postgate achieved. It's immensely rare, and it's probably only now that he's gone that we'll truly appreciate the perfectly formed little gifts that he left for us.
Bagpuss gave a big yawn and settled down to sleep.
We will stickle it, every little bit of it. We will fix it like new, new, new. We will find it, we will bind it. We will stick it with glue, glue, glue. We will stickle it, every little bit of it. We will fix it like new, new, new.